Hello, my name is Ben Brucato. I'll be your discussion section instructor for this semester. This is my fourth time teaching Introduction to Science, Technology, and Society, and I'm really looking forward to this semester. If you're anything like the other students that I've had in this class, you're probably coming into this with very little knowledge and perhaps a lot of confusion about what this class is all about and what the discipline of STS, or Science, Technology, and Society, can do. So one of the things that you're going to see today is a video that I put together. It's a very amateur video that I put together over the last couple days during a trip that I made to Mexico. And so it will look at a few different things that STS can say about this kind of perhaps everyday experience for some people, but a hidden experience for many. Take a look at the video, and you'll have a chance to talk about that with some of your fellow students in the section. So a little bit about myself. I am a second-year PhD student in STS at RPI. I have a master's degree in applied sociology from Northern Arizona University, and my bachelor's degree is an interdisciplinary degree from Kent State University Honor College. My research interests put me well into the area of what's called surveillance studies. It looks at new information communications technologies and how they are used to surveil populations, and that means collecting personal information, often aggregating that information, and using categorical sorting techniques for directing and managing human behavior. So that's one of my main areas of study. Now, the field of surveillance studies is rather broad. So when you think surveillance, you might immediately think of CCTV cameras or surveillance cameras, and that's the most common impression that people get, and they might be thinking about those cameras either in a private context, so surveillance in like shopping malls or other things like that are done by private security companies, or you might be thinking of surveillance in terms of government surveillance of citizens. One of the things I look at, however, is actually how citizens surveil people with perhaps more power than them. So the use of cell phone cameras and videotaping police behavior and perhaps documenting police misconduct. And my dissertation is actually on how citizens use cell phone videos and social media technologies to both produce the media documenting police misconduct, but then also to distribute it through things like YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, etc. So that's one of my research areas. And I'm also interested in something that's very central to this course, which is could be called technology assessment, which is basically to look at individual technologies or systems of technologies in order to make perhaps policy advice or policy analysis for key political actors. And that might be policymakers or regulators who work for state or federal governments. In my case, I'm doing policy analysis for what's called civil society organizations. So we might call those non-governmental organizations, or NGOs. Or you might think of those in terms of social movements or other kinds of citizen-based political organizations. So very broadly, I'm interested in how to evaluate technologies so that public actors can make better political decisions about how they can approach those technologies and better steer them perhaps to benefit a larger group of people, to make technologies more accessible and governable by laypersons or members of the public, and so on. And these are very kind of complicated issues that might seem a bit confusing to you at this point, but as we move forward in the course, hopefully they'll become much more clear. but I wanted to explain these both as an introduction to myself as your instructor in the course, and in some ways an introduction to what STS is and what STS can do. I look forward to meeting you shortly, and welcome to the course.